I'm going to try to be as brief as possible in terms of my opening remarks, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what everybody has to say. I'm the director of the Office of Safe and Healthy Students at the U.S. Department of Education. I'm also the father of two 8-year-old twins, Sally and Daisy. So school safety and violence and school climate are both a professional and personal interest of mine. I think there's good news and bad news in all of this. And I think the good news is what you're going to hear today in terms of the fact that we are becoming evidence-based in our efforts to address these very, very important issues. We're learning what works. We're the funding agencies, and I know a number of them are here today at the federal and state level, are funding what works, and so over time we will improve. We will make a dent in the kind of the indicators of school crime and safety. And the good news in the long term is that things have gotten better. Schools are safer than they've ever been, and so that's a tribute to work not only of the researchers who have pointed to what works, but also to the people who work in our schools, our teachers and support staff and resource officers and everyone who's there to try to create a safe school environment. The bad news, and it's really the challenge, I mean, if you take a look at this list of all the topics that we're going to cover today, they're only a part of the list of issues that schools face while they're trying to teach our kids. And our kids come to school in an environment, in many cases, an environment which is not particularly conducive to learning. Their walk to school, their walk home from school, what they do, what they face in their neighborhoods is baggage they bring to school. And our educators do a wonderful job of trying to address those issues as well as to teach them the academics. My office deals with all of these issues, but to give you some scope of the other issues that we face, we do a lot of work on human trafficking, on teen dating violence. My office has just received permission to administer the homeless program, our neglected or delinquent youth program. The issues that schools face, in addition to all of the challenges of keeping kids academically proficient and high-performing, is overwhelming. I think it is something that it's important to acknowledge all those challenges. So we have the good news, kind of the challenging news, and I think there is some bad news here. And the bad news is that our memories are short, that these issues come and go off our radar pretty quickly. Right now, the Office of Safe and Healthy Students agenda is driven very much by the tragedy at Newtown and the President's plan called Now is the Time. That was December 14, 2012. Our memory, our response to Newtown is beginning to fade. You can feel it. And it is unfortunate, because what will happen is that there will be another tragedy. There will be another terrible incident. And people will go, we need to do something, which is what everyone did after Newtown. We need to do something. And I think what's so important about a meeting like this today, and I want to appreciate Wested and George Mason University, is that it keeps these issues on our radar, not only of what works, but these will be issues that will be with us generation after generation. Unfortunately, there will be other tragedies, whether it be natural or man-made. And so we have to be prepared, and we have to keep these things on our radar so that it's not cyclical. The funding for my office is like a roller coaster. You can tie it exactly to certain tragedies, both natural and man-made, for when people give attention to these issues. So what is critically important here is both to understand and appreciate the very good work of the folks who are going to present to you, the importance of those topics, but to also keep in mind that we have to sustain this interest in these topics over time and always be vigilant and being prepared for what we can do to prevent, to respond to, and help people recover from these terrible incidents. So I'm very much looking forward to the presentation today. Thank all of the presenters ahead of time for their very good work. And thank you for being here and your interest in this.